Amen.
Giving all honor to the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and end of all life. To my brothers and sisters in the ministry, thank you for your support. Those of you in Facebook Live land and YouTube Live land, thank you for your support. You, the waiting congregation, thank you for your support. To my lovely family, thank you for your support. And to my lovely wife, who is the Easter lily of my life, thank you for your support. What happens when life's plans don't go as expected? What happens when life plans don't go as expected? Now, I'm going to tell you a little personal thing here. This is the time of year that me and my wife take our yearly trip to Atlanta to go to a Braves baseball game on the 4th, because they've got the largest fireworks show in the Southeast. So we go there for the game, but we really go there, and that's our vacation for the year. Didn't happen. Braves not playing. It just didn't work. It just didn't work. But I still went to Atlanta this year. I went for another reason. I went in February to a friend of mine's funeral. So I did go to Atlanta. We did have a fireworks show. For the amount of money they spent, we had a fireworks show. I ain't missed nothing. Everything that we were going to do in Atlanta on our yearly trip, we did it here. It wasn't in Atlanta. The plans just didn't work out. But it did work out. If you understand what I'm saying. Sometimes when plans, when we make plans, they don't go as expected. So what do? How do we view that? How do we view when we have spent all our money making these plans, set up the time off and the anticipation, and then things change in the blink of an eye. I mean, I was really hoping this year, that this coronavirus thing would be over with, Major League Baseball would be playing, and then we could get up there to Atlanta. Because this year was one of the few years that the 4th fell on a Friday. So we was going to leave Thursday night about 2 o'clock in the morning to go up there and then have all day Friday, all day Saturday, and then get up this morning and come back. But those plans were dashed. So what is it that when we plan and things happen in our life? We say, this is not how my life is supposed to be. I'm not living where I'm living. I'm not driving what I want to drive. My family life is like this. My children is like that. This, that, and the other. And God, why is my life like this? And then we say, God, I know you can fix it. You said you would fix it, but you didn't. Why, God? Why didn't you fix it? You said you would. You said you'd never leave me nor forsake me. But now I'm alone. My plans, my life is not So what do we do when things don't go as we expected? Do we blame God? I'm going to answer that for you. Yes, we do. We say, God, why you didn't fix it? God, you know I cried to you. You didn't fix it. God, I prayed like you said, and you still didn't fix it. So God, why is my life like this? Look at me, God. Look at me. I got this ailment. I got that ailment. I ain't got no, I ain't got no teachers. I ain't got nothing. God, why is my life like this? Why is my life not going like I expected it to be? You said, God, if I trust you, things would be better. But God, I ain't got no proof that things are better. In fact, God, according to me, things are worse. Why, God? So what do we do when life's plans don't go as expected? Now when the realization kicked in that I wasn't going to take advantage of this right weekend for the Atlanta Braves, and my wife and I had taken our trip, I could have said, God, we were planning this since last year, because I keep up with their schedule, and I make sure that they're home around the 4th for their fireworks show. And yes, my kids grew up at Turner Field. They grew up there. So when you come to my house, all you're going to see is Atlanta Brave t-shirts. Everybody got them, and they wear them. That's all they know. They don't know nothing else. But what happens when things don't go right? Things don't go as we planned. Now, listen. YouTube Live, Facebook Live, listen. You know we all can think of something better than what we got. There's always something better, bigger, around the corner. And trust me, the grass is always greener next door. I want green grass, but somehow the weeds keep coming up. I want green grass. I fertilize, I do all the stuff they tell me to do, and it's still not green. What do I do? A plan to go here, that didn't work out. What do I do? I remember I cried to God, I cried to God. God said, God, I ain't got no place to stay. So God planted me over there. See, when God plants you, you're going to grow roots. He's not going to place you there. Because if he places you there, a strong wind will come by and blow you someplace else. But he's going to plant you. You say, well, God, I am here, but you said things would get better. I don't see it, God. Things ain't getting better. Things are getting worse. then we go down the list of all that's wrong. And oh boy, we got a list like this of everything that's wrong, and a list like this, everything that's good. Now, what's wrong with that picture? Okay? You ask them what's wrong, all you got to do is ask somebody how they feeling. And they'll run down the list. And by the time they get through, you feel bad. and you start out feeling good. But we say to God, why? Why, God, why is my life like this? You said trust you, and you make it better. And I trusted you. I'm trusting you. And it seems like the more I trust you, the worse off I get. So what do I do when life don't go, when life's plans don't go as expected? Now all of us have felt that way at some point in our life. We might even feel it now. But when we have a plan of what we think life should look like, but then life throws us the curveball, divorce, infidelity, loss of a job, struggles with the kids, serious health issues, infertility, bankruptcy, addiction, death of a loved one. Those things change plans immediately. And the list goes on. It feels that we've been punched in the gut and wonder, where do we go from here? How do we survive and pick up the pieces of our lives when our dreams and plans have died? How? Is for us. How is it for us that our lives can be turned upside down? As they say in a New York minute. How do we pick up the pieces? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because I'm going to tell you why we pick up the pieces. We have to continue to trust God. We ain't got nothing else to do. You surely can't fix it. The only person who can fix it is God. But we try to fix it, and then we mess it up. And you know the Bible saying that, and we know that God causes everything to work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to His purpose for them. So we say that the trouble in my life or the unexpected things that happen in my life is for a reason. The Bible says it's for our good. Now I can tell you this right now. Not going to Atlanta this year and not doing it saved us some money. I can tell you that. Okay? Got a free fireworks show. But I got a chance to sit around and look at my family. And everybody over there on one accord doing and feeling the same way. Because if I was at the game, I'd probably, people be yelling and screaming and cussing, and then somebody, we done been on, somebody gets drunk, and, they got to throw them out, and, it's just, chaos. Yeah. But I can say that this year, for not going to Atlanta, it turned out to my good. It really did. It turned out to my good. It got to be my family, my extended family, some friends. We just got to do it. And looking at the other people fireworks, free of charge. Free of charge. You know? So it didn't work out for my good. But I could have taken the other route and sit around and go, you know, boy, I wish we was in Atlanta. It sure would be nice. And not taking advantage of the present situation. And that present situation that we have is that when the life brings us those changes, that's realigning us with God. We have gotten away from God. Sometimes those things remind us of who God really is. I mean, you know, the list goes on of the tragedies and things that happen in our lives. Sometimes that's just to get us back in line. Back in line with Him. Marital problems, struggle with the kids, health scares, they all stop us where? Right in our tracks. They stop us. And you know what? We begin to evaluate what's important. Begin to evaluate really what's important. Now, relationship with God and marriage and family, health, all of those things, that's what we have to be realigned with. There's a story of an outdoor recreation company that had to close in the middle of COVID-19. Close. What they realized is when they stopped, they realized that the outdoor activities and outdoor equipment that they were selling people, they weren't even using it. They weren't even using it, and they were selling it. They were selling family-oriented activities, and they weren't using it. So they decided to not open. They looked around and looked at their family, and they said that what we have been doing is we have been out of line with the family. We have been building recreational things for other people and not taking advantage of it ourselves. So they shut the business. Shut it down. And started more family time. See, we can look at COVID-19 for some businesses. They have to rethink, realign. They got out of line. They got out of line. And you know, front of the alignment on the car, when it gets out of line, it's done, you know, doing this to the side. And then you got to go get in line or what? Wear out the tires faster. So they saw their lives going down the drain until COVID-19 came and they stopped. And they had time to analyze their lives. And they found out that what they were promoting for other people, they were missing it for themselves. So they stopped. And now they're doing camping and everything, a realignment with the family. See, COVID, I mean, it's bad. But really, it's got families thinking now. We got families looking out for each other. Now, I'm not saying it wouldn't happen before, but for them folks to realize that what they were doing is they were doing it for other people. and not for themselves is when they realize that they were out of line. So it brings an alignment. But that alignment sometimes comes at a price. Sometimes that realignment to God comes with a price. Some things we have to give up. Some things we have to sacrifice. And that's what happens when our life plans don't go as expected. Something has to be sacrificed. Are we willing to make the sacrifice? Sometimes we think we're losing something. But God said, you ain't losing nothing, you gaining. And if you look at the people that ran the outdoor recreation place, they didn't lose nothing. They gained. They gained something more important than the store. They gained back their family unity. Now, you know your family is the only ones that when they wake up in the morning, they hate your guts. And by nightfall, they fighting with you. They'll hate your guts now in the morning. But at night, we all fighting the enemy together. And then after we finish fighting, we'll go back to hating each other in the morning again. And then by nightfall, we fighting together. That's family. That's family. I mean, come on now, you know that we got some family members that, you know, we kind of hate their guts. You know, I'm just being soft here. We got some family members that we really hate their guts. But when it's time to fight, we fight. I'll hate your guts later. But right now, we as a family got to fight. Yeah. We got to fight. So when those things happen, when life plans don't go as expected, sometimes we got to sacrifice and fight. And fight these outside forces. We got to fight them as a family. Which means that we become realigned as a family. Isn't that what God wants? He wants the family realigned. And I think that sometimes the unexpected setbacks in life realigns us with God. And when we get realigned with God, we get realigned with our families. Yes, we do. It also brings a renewed surrender. God, I can't do it. I'm done. I've done all I can do, God. I don't know why my life is like this. I tried to not have my life like this, but it is. God, I've been trying to stop this vice in my life. I've been trying to stop it. And I can't. So God, I'm turning it over to you. And God said, if you try to hang on to your life, you're going to lose it. If you try to hang on to your life, you're going to lose it. But if you give it up for my sake, then you'll save it. If you give it up for my sake. See, Paul's got a vice. Everybody got a vice. But we like to pick on drugs and alcohol. So let's pick on drugs and alcohol today. We all got a vice. But you say, well, I want to get off of drugs and alcohol because I'm tired of this. What you need to say is, I need to get off of this to get back with God. And then you'll see how easy it is. But if you're trying to give it up for you, you ain't strong enough. You want to tell you why? Because you done that. You done tried that. You tried the clean life. whatever that is. You know, instead of drinking a 6-pack in the morning, I only drink 5. And say the other one for after lunch. You know, you tried a good life. And it didn't work. You find yourself right back in the same position. It's because you didn't surrender to God. See, surrendering to God means that I've got to give up my life for Him. And when I give up my life for Him, then He says, you're going to keep your life. And that life that you keep now is a better life. Because we surrender to Him. The easiest thing to do is to give, as I said, Joe Jack. We can do a lot of this. But where is it here? See, when you turn it over to God here, you don't have to talk. You ain't got nothing to prove to nobody. You don't have to show nobody, well, you know, I don't stop drinking. Nobody needs to know that. It'll show. You don't have to go and drink. See, Jesus told a lot of them, you know, don't go tell nobody I was healing. You know, don't go tell nobody. And they went and told them. It's because there was a change in their life. So when we get that change in our life, when we surrender to God, then there's a change in our life. And guess what? We want to tell people. But guess what? The people that we tell, they don't want to hear. Because those are the people that you've been hanging with. But you want to tell them this is this new thing to be. Listen, if you surrender to God, God will take that taste out. God will do it. If you surrender to God. Don't think for 1 minute now. Don't think for 1 minute. Boy, this water. No, Satan, you ain't gonna do this shit. I'm gonna tell you. Don't think for 1 minute that on a hot, sunny day, after I've been cutting the yard and everything, and I'm sweating like a racehorse, that the thought won't come to my mind that a cold beer would feel good right now. At one time in my life, I would have succumbed to that. But now that I got God, I surrendered to God. He said, you can think it, but you ain't gonna do it. Satan tried to mess with your mind, but I got your body. So when I surrender to Him, then things change. I can be in those environments. Don't faze me at all. Don't bother me at all. It's because I surrendered to Him. And that's how I move past the things in our lives. We have to surrender to God. That my life is the way it is. I didn't plan for it to be like this. So if I didn't plan for it to be like this, then everything wrong or bad is what we see. It's what we look at. Because see, we say that that's what I'm giving up. But what about telling what you're gaining? Tell them what you're gaining. What is it that I'm gaining with my life being the way it is now? What is it that I have gained because I'm not living like I want to live? What is it that I've gained I say you gained God. And everything that goes with it. You gained God. And everything that goes with it. But you say, but God, why is my life like this? God said, you trying to hold on to something. You know what? You know why we say it's because we're trying to hold on to a life that's not doing us any good. We're trying to hold on to it. Because we say, I remember this, I remember that, and then you start feeling sad because you don't have that anymore. You're trying to hold on to something that don't do you any good. God got you out of that situation. He planted you here. Now you're complaining about where you are. You're not realizing that I don't do that anymore. But we try to hold on to that. And we don't surrender to God. And that's very unfortunate. It's unfortunate is because in our humanistic way, we forget that God is in control if we just let it. You understand what I'm saying? If we just let it. But what ends up happening is we fight God all the way. You know, we fight God when we try to hold on to that old life, and God's trying to send you in a new direction, and we fight against God. And then complaining that my life is like this. When we are to, as we say, let go and let God. Let go and let God. He got it. But we're trying to hold on to this life. And that life is not doing us any good. And then, now, here, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, congregation, let me tell you how, can I say stupid we are? Can I say that? We ask God to protect us. We ask God to bless us. And then we turn around and get mad when He do it. You said, God, I can't live like this no more. That's all right. Boom.
Yeah.
But when we over here, what do we do? Complain because what? I'm not back over here. Now, there's something wrong with that picture. If we ask God to help us, and He helped us, but He didn't help us like we wanted. He helped us like He wanted. Because He knew that would be the best for us in the long run. See, we want that immediate, but that immediate might not be good for us. Do you know that when God, when God stops the bad things in our lives, we get mad at God for doing that? We get mad at God because He stopped us from doing that was going to hurt us 5 months from now, 6 months from now. He stopped it right now. And then we get mad at Him for stopping. Why me, God? Why me? Why now? What if God answered, why not you? Why not now? And He does. And He does. Because your life is the way it is. He answered you. Because at some point in your life, you called on God. You asked God to fix something. And He did. He fixed it. But then you mad because He didn't fix it like you thought you wanted it fixed. Because you thought you were losing something. That's the only thing I say about when we talk to God, is that we think we're losing something. When we surrender to God, we ain't losing nothing, we're gaining. And we're gaining so until the people see it in you. You don't even see it. They say, boy, something different about you. And you go, what? 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 There's something different about you. And you know what they'll say? I don't know what it is, but it's something different about you. They know what it is. They know exactly what it is. But they don't want to admit it. What else does unexpected things bring in our lives? Dependence on God. Dependence on God. That's what it brings. More dependence on Him. Now, if you're talking about this COVID-19 thing, I mean, now look, I'm going on record. Now, I ain't saying God had anything to do with this, but I can tell you this. He surely got our attention. Not citywide, not countywide, not statewide, but worldwide. He got our attention.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying, I'm not saying God started COVID-19. I didn't say that. But what I am saying is that nobody expected this. But this is our life now. And you know what we got out of this? Family. Because family now is looking out for family. That's what we got. Well, wait a minute. Ain't that what we wanted? Isn't that what we wanted? We wanted a closer-knit family. Isn't that what we wanted? Well, it took this to do it. But we depended on God because we ain't got nothing else. Now, husband and wife out of work, no unemployment coming in. And you still got food to eat. The bill's still getting paid. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do families. And you ask them, well, I've been out of work since so-and-so. Well, I've been out of work since so-and-so. The kids, they've been out of school. So all of us been in this house here together. Didn't miss a meal. Rent mortgage is paid. Lights still on. The only thing you lost was a headache. You gained a peace of mind. So God, the only way that happened is we did what? We depended on God. Because everybody sitting around looking. They had to depend on God. They had to. And God said, now that you depending on me, I'm going to show you how I can work. And then you try to explain to your friends how you still living. You ain't working. And trying to get unemployment from the state of Florida. I'm not saying now. All I'm saying is that he's dependent on God. Now I'm going to tell you, you know who depended on God in the Bible? David. David depended on God. David wandered in the desert for almost 7 years, running from Saul. He's trying to kill him. And numerous opportunities David had to kill Saul. You know, getting close enough to somebody and taking their sword. Okay? Taking their sword and then telling them where to go find it. And oh yes, I sharpened it up for you. You know, it was kind of dull.
So you can fall on it, right?
Yeah. 7 years. And you know, 7 years, David was totally dependent on God. Read the Psalms. Read the Psalms written by David. Those were in distress. A lot of them were in distress because he's running from Saul. He depended on God. Now I know David said, wait a minute. When you came to anoint me, and you mean to tell me that you anointed me to run for my life? Y'all may come out today. David said, wait a minute. You came here. I'm minding my business out here in the field. You called me up there. You anoint me as the next king. And for 7 years I got to run for my life. And you call this anointing? But he was dependent on God. And God came through for him. Do you know if you're dependent on your enemy? If you're dependent on your enemy, you ain't going nowhere. If you're dependent on your enemy to do this so you can do that, you're not going anywhere. But when you depend on God, do you know God will deliver your enemy to you in a package? He will deliver your enemy to you. It's because you depended on me. So I'm going to show you how powerful I am. Is that I will make your enemy your footstool. If you depended on me. And like I said, David running for his life almost 7 years. Running for his life. And he's dependent on God. So when our life, I guess, throws us a curveball, and it always does. When life punches us in the stomach, which it always does. When life knocks us upside the head, which it always does. When life knocks us down, which it always does, we can depend on God. And that depending on God reminds us that as a trusting God, we are a lot stronger person. We are a lot stronger person when we trust in God. Now, if we put the trust in ourselves, it all depends on how we feel that day. But when you put your trust in God, God is always there. God is always there. When you trust Him. He will feed you when you're hungry. He will clothe you when you're naked. He'll put shoes on your feet. And then He'll make you appreciate it if you just trust Him. But our problem is we don't trust Him because we can't see what He's going to do for us. See, we can trust Satan because He already shown us what He can do. We already see it. In fact, we done been on that road. We done been down that road a couple times. So we already know it down there. But the road that God put us on, you can't see a foot in front of you. He said, trust me. He said, take 2 steps and turn left. He said, well, I can't see. He said, I asked you to see. I said, take 2 steps and turn left. But no. We're going to do what? We're going to take 1 step and turn right. Bam! Right into a wall. And then God just goes, you know, one of these days, they're going to get it. And then when you take them 2 steps and turn left, then he said, okay, now take 1 step and turn right. And you said, well, okay, I'll listen. And you follow that maze. When you look back, you said, he blessed me here, he blessed me here, he blessed me here. And every time he blessed me, he told me to do what? Take a turn. Because where I was headed, there was what? There was a wall coming. But I couldn't see that wall because I can't see what's so far in front of me. That's what it is, trust. Trust. So our life, the way it is, we have to trust God. Trust him. Trust him. Because the life that you're living is the life that God wants you to live to get to there. To get to there. You say, well, where there is, I'll tell you when you get there. But you say, I like that over there because that's bright and shiny and I know what's over there. Well, I say, if you get on that one, you got to take 1 step that way and it's downhill after that. And then when you get down there and you find out that I'm not there, then you call on me. And do you know, boy, we got us a merciful God. Do you know that our God is so merciful and so loving that when we call on him in our times of trouble, when we down on that side,